Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for this webinar on the evolving role of the service desk analyst. It's the last webinar for this year. I'll shortly be joined by Keith Wilkins, who's a managing consultant with Avocet Recruitment. Now, Keith, you've had a lot of exposure to the industry. You're quite an experienced gentleman in the industry. And I believe you're currently working with us on our service desk resourcing product here at SDI.
Yep, I've been in the recruitment industry for over 25 years, but I've spent the last 20 odd years working for clients for their help desk and service delivery environments. And within the last 12 months, we've engaged with SDI to act as a resourcing partner for SDR, and have had some very good successes in the last 2 or 3 months.
Wonderful, and I think I've spoken to you at a couple of events that we've hosted, and I think your experience really stands out, your knowledge of the industry and kind of the needs of the industry, and I think that's what you're going to be telling us a bit about in your presentation today.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a little step back to go 2 steps forward, so just to sort of catch up with people and sort of let them know, obviously, where I've come from and where I've seen the industry evolve from. And hopefully where I see it going to as well. I mean, I've worked with a number of clients over the years, and it's been quite an exciting time. I came from IT support before I got into recruitment, so it's been a bit of a soft spot for me over the years, but one that I've enjoyed working in.
Lovely, wonderful. Well, I tell you, I know you're desperate to start your presentation. This is just a quick mention to all of our attendees. Do ask questions as we go along. We'll ask Keith those once the presentation is finished. So thank you very much, Keith, and over to you.
Thanks, Ollie. I appreciate that. Right. Hi, everybody. Many thanks for joining me today for Avocet's first webinar with SDI. My name's Keith Wilkins. I've been in the recruitment industry for many years now, but my expertise and experience for the last 20 plus years has been in the service desk, service delivery, technical support, infrastructure, anything that's geared towards the support side, because that's an area I've come from in my career beforehand, and I very much enjoy working with people in this industry with those kind of skills, because of the customer service, the tech support, and the interpersonal skills that are required in this arena. So what I'd like to do is take you 1 step back to go 2 steps forwards, just to sort of show you where I'm coming from and where I think the industry is going. Because when I first started in recruiting the help desk environment some 20 plus years ago, all the companies and environments I recruited for were very different from the ones I deal with now. Back then, a help desk was merely a concept, which shows how long ago it was. Companies thought they ought to have it in place, and it was also considered a financial overhead, so rather than employ individuals to do it, they reassigned individuals within the organisation to sit at a remotely situated desk, often in a room without windows. I'm sure you can remember that. Sometimes facing a blank wall, answering a solitary ringing telephone, but inevitably it was not very good. But from there, talented help desk individuals started to appear, began to have a positive impact in the environment, in the working environment, and those that began managing and shaping the help desk teams started to display talents and skills that could keep the user base informed of the technical situations that were being encountered by the quote-unquote far too busy to talk to a user technical teams. So the help desk was becoming an invaluable resource, a great place to work if you had the right skills and personality. It's good to see how things have progressed, and as time went on and ITIL started to come into the frame, obviously the help desk evolved into a service desk, still providing technical and business support, but now it was involved in incident management, coordinating service requests, calling users back, and keeping them informed of any outages. And it became evident that the new type of service desk was becoming an asset to the IT organisation, and it soon was considered for inclusion in the budget, annual IT budget. It was beginning to be allocated specific headcount, even new furniture, new telephone systems, and even bespoke software. However, despite all these advancements, in some companies it was still situated in an undersized office and facing a blank wall with no windows at all. But we were beginning to evolve. But Having worked in this environment for so many years now, I have seen firsthand the evolution of the help desk going from the first line fault logging into the technical service desk. And all the skill sets of the candidates that have been required over this period have been quite key. The communication skills have been essential. Customer service skills have been essential. Knowledge of all the current relevant, all the up and coming technologies. People had to move quickly, learn quickly, but above all, a professional manner and understanding the corporate business environment to appreciate what they did for the firm. So, without doubt, it's always been the case, service desk, tech support personnel required those excellent communication skills and customer service skills, but they had to have an understanding of all these changing technologies because things were being thrown at them constantly. But still, the clients I recruit for now, the soft skills are still key, even though the technical skills are changing on such a broad range, I would say such a wide range of technologies and operating, much broader than it's ever been before. In some instances, the clients I deal with, the industry-specific applications such as law firms, you need specific case management software skills or practice management skills. They're very, very key, and for the right candidate with the right attitude, the right skills, and those key skills, they can do great jobs for great organizations. And I've also noticed, obviously, in the last 5 to 10 years with globalization, the multilingual SDAs, the service desk analysts with technical skills, customer service skills, 1, 2, sometimes 3 languages, they're worth their weight in gold with an organization who's got that global presence. Again, all that time, it's always been my view to find a top quality candidate for the service desk environment. It's been more challenging than any other roles in technologies because whilst the technically experienced candidates are good with the hardware, software, networks, the communication side of things, it really does need individuals with good interpersonal skills, empathy, patience, analytical problem-solving skills. So the ability to adapt quickly to a range of technologies, not just within the organisation, but as things started to expand to the BYOD side of things and the choose-your-own devices. And underneath all these core competencies remain the same, but there were some subtle changes going on. The personality, the maturity, the attitude, the flexibility, and the ability to work in a team were key. So as things have gone on, we found that it's been essential for service desk analysts to still have those core skills, but they do need to now concentrate on those as a base, but they've got to contemplate the best practice standards, obviously experience of using ITIL, even being experienced in an ITIL environment, not necessarily qualified, but understanding those processes, those procedures, working to them to make sure that they deliver a quality service. Obviously, seeing the bigger picture, clients I deal with now, it's essential that they understand the business that they're coming to join before they come to the interview, so that they understand the business, the community. It's essential that they see the bigger picture and contribute towards it. And I say one of the key things now is the ability to adapt to everything that's coming out, because it's being released so fast. New software changes, new operating systems, new hardware, it's all coming out fast. And the service desk analysts need to move with it. The standard profiles for our service desk analysts that we identify for our clients is changing. The bar is rising in regards to the skills that clients seek now. But the fundamental profiles still remain the same, and I receive these on a regular basis from our client saying, must provide first and second line, experience of incident management, service request, use of service management tools of the varying types that are out there. But all this comes through on a job spec, and from my perspective, and when I'm dealing with clients and indeed candidates, I look for all the things that are perhaps off the spec, the softer side of things, the things that don't necessarily get recorded in an official job specification, to ensure that we can find somebody who can integrate to the environment, not just now, but for the longer term and the future. And we need people, and we look for people who are always willing to enhance their own knowledge personally, professionally, and share that knowledge with others, whether it be internally with the team they work with, or indeed the users they're working with or they're supporting, so that their managers can see that they're growing and developing. It's really key that we find individuals like that. And before, you just had to be able to answer a telephone. Now it's so much more. It's so much more. In regards of job profiles that we look at now, I mentioned earlier, the bar is now set higher than ever. And the opportunities that we work with, and the clients we work with, they're attracting such a high caliber of individuals that they need to bring so much more to the party. There's always the underlying core skills. Without those, if they can't impress me on the phone, or if I meet them face to face, if they don't have those interpersonal communication and support skills, I can't even begin to put them in front of a client without them being able to get through me, to be able to talk to me, to explain what they do on a regular basis. It's absolutely key, and looking at their CVs to ensure that they do develop and proceed to develop, whether it be internally at the company or they pursue external qualifications and development. It's absolutely key for me to see that with people growing, because from the service desk, and I have seen a lot of clients, they will concentrate on the service desk to select or cherry pick candidates who show potential, who show that development and the growth, and they will take them into other areas. So they will develop into infrastructure support analysts, or they'll go into apps development or project management, business analyst, all from their key core skills on the service desk. And that's because not only do they understand the support ethic, but they also understand the business activities that's going on. And another key skill that's come on with the job profiles that we look at is, because of the change of technologies and the opportunity for new devices to be installed, it's desktop technologies, laptops, a little bit of communications and networking, information security, physical security, connecting external products to the core enterprise systems. And ultimately, there's an element of quality control, because we need to keep these things moving. Dealing with a lot of these people, as the users become more technically competent with their own technologies, because they're becoming more readily using these products day in, day out, handheld scenarios, the service desk analysts, the service desk teams, have to be almost one step ahead, because it's important that they're able to support the users. The increase of their chosen technologies, the laptops, the tablets, the mobiles, the knowledge of their specific products and choice is increasing dramatically, and the service desk analysts need to be one step ahead. Obviously, the management who lead these service desks will need to keep on top of those emerging technologies. So all the KPIs will start to shift, the SLAs will start to shift, the complexity of the problems and the questions will rise as well. So it's important that we find individuals who are adaptable, flexible. It's something that is important that the employers consider when they're looking for their new service desk analysts. Going forwards, as we mentioned before, the users are becoming more technically competent. So will they be going to the service desk for support or advice or guidance and assistance for more complex issues beyond the password resets and the issues that they have on a daily basis? So with the increase of bring your own devices and the choose your own devices, it's expanding the technology that's being used within a corporate environment alongside the in-house enterprise products. The users require assurance that there won't be any issues by connecting their particular chosen product to the new systems. Obviously, any devices or upgrades that are being added to the system won't cut anybody out. The service desk is almost acting as a higher level technical support now. and it's important that any new features and upgrades can be accommodated. So the service desk analysts, the service desk teams, the service desk team, they're almost working on the project side of things to make sure that these things don't come to pass. So it's important that obviously the requirement of anybody working in this particular environment is going up and higher and higher. The increase in the social media accessibility, when things go wrong internally at the company and the systems are down, get on social media, you will find a way to find out what's happening when the systems are coming back. This is something else the service desk analysts are becoming more and more capable of, as well as telephone calls, emails, mobile messaging, the social media. It's a key way of communicating with the user community, but that's something else that's being added to the skills list going forward. And of course, service desk analysts, it's more a business relationship management role now, because they do work closely with the business units. They understand what they want and they need, and what the peaks and troughs are business area, and it's important that they understand it to a point that they can support it accordingly. So, say the service offerings going back to the year dot, obviously just started with ticketing, and then it progressed to the self-service, obviously the social media, the mobile side of things. It's all incredibly important that these things are moving. These things have happened in a very short space of time from the help desk and service delivery side. And the service desk analysts are evolving rapidly and keep on learning about these new products, these new platforms going forwards. So what will the new SDA look like going forward? I like this because it's slightly retro, but it's also quite amusing for the future, because it is one of those things that people will want to have a good time enjoying their role, enjoying the work they do, because it's important that they undertake a satisfaction in their role. So I think the future of the service desk environment and the service desk analyst, it does remain exciting and challenging to the constant technology changes that we're experiencing. Every new opportunity that I get to work on has a new twist and a turn to find the right candidate for tomorrow's environment. And the service desk can offer career prospects that were unheard of before to those who are committed to the cause. I mean, there's so many routes through in regards of the service desk analyst, team leader, specialist in regard of incident problem change management, service desk manager, service delivery manager, and going on and on and on. And they're all key roles within the modern day organisation. But underneath, though, the service desk analysts have to be all things to all people, with all their technology choices going forwards, but they must never ever lose the core ability to provide great service and to help and support people. They're the key things that have always been an underlying competence that service desk analysts must have. So, I mean, I have worked in the industry and helped many service desk professionals with their careers to date. Still work with several that I've known for many years who first came to me as help desk analysts. One is now a head of service management for a technology service company, one's a senior service operations manager for a major media and broadcasting company, and another one is the corporate head of IT for a major insurance company. And they're all now influencing the service management of today, tomorrow and the future from a very senior level, making some significant changes. But in every situation that I've come across, whether it be last year, last week, today, or even tomorrow, at the centre of the hiring decision for service desk analysts, and especially the ones going forwards, it's all about the person behind the qualifications and the technical abilities. If you don't have a good, strong customer service core, the wanting to help people, wanting to resolve issues, wanting to learn about new technologies, this may not be the environment for you, but at the end of the day, people are at the heart of the IT service desk, and in my view, going forwards, they always will be.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Keith. That was an excellent presentation. I've got some questions for you. So this is just another quick shout out to any. So if you have got any questions, do post them and we'll put them to Keith, our expert. The first one, reassuringly, they completely agree that the role of the service desk analyst is evolving. However, in their experience, the perception of the analyst and perhaps the remuneration package they get doesn't reflect the new skills. So in your experience, Keith, do you think that's correct? Are you seeing analysts given kind of perhaps more of a senior role, or are they still the entry level to the IT organisation?
Ollie, I think yes, that it's an entry level to the organisation. However, there are organisations who are investing in their service desk personnel because it brings in good quality individuals with some strong skills and experience and abilities. It gives you, or gives the individual an opportunity to have a window on the organisation. But the core skills that we've always been talking about, they've got to be able to understand the business, the technology, and the organisation. From that point, once they do that, they can grow them and develop them. But I have seen that in the last 12, 18 months, the salaries at the first line have been going up and up and up. So it is inviting a lot more interesting candidates in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's mirrored in some of the research that we've been conducting here at SDAs, that salaries are increasing. I mean, it seems that it's a bit of a theme in some of the questions we're being asked. So Stephen's also asked, how do you balance the perception of the service desk analyst and the pay that they receive when the qualifications and experience being asked of a service desk analyst keep increasing? So I think we've sort of tackled that one as well. A really interesting question here is, what are the career routes one can take from the service desk after years as an analyst? And I don't know whether there's any insight you can give there, Keith.
Yeah, there's been a number of clients who I've worked with and still work with now who will take individuals onto their service desks, frontline help desks, depending on which way they define them, and after a period of time, they will rotate them for 3 months into desktop support, technical support, infrastructure. Some put them into the apps development as well, just to get an understanding of the business and the other areas. And they rotate and then they come back to the help desk or the service desk environment, and it gives them a better understanding of what they're doing, and obviously their escalation points as well. And ultimately, when the opportunities arise in those other areas, they sort of have first choice on the people coming off the service desk and saying, yeah, we've seen them, we've tried them, we've worked with them, we think they can escalate. I mean, one of the best ones I think I've had is a young chap who I brought in who was perhaps 6 months to the good, and he is now a mobile apps developer for a very large firm because of his interest that he showed in the business and their activities, and indeed the modern technologies.
So would your advice to an ambitious service desk analyst be to engage with the areas of the IT organisation or the business that perhaps appeal to them? So see if networks or server management have a position for 3 months, say, just to get some experience.
Absolutely. I mean, so a lot of organisations do the rotation, which is interesting. But if you have an interest, if you've studied, if you've got a great degree from university, which is information systems management or networking, then express an interest, and there will be the opportunities. A lot of companies will want to encourage you to learn more, and obviously take every advantage or opportunity that comes your way to take those secondments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll put a slightly different spin on it now, because we've talked about the benefits to the analyst of moving off from the service desk into other teams. But do you think service desk analysts bring something when they go out to other areas of the IT organisation, that perhaps that customer focus, which you don't see in other areas of IT?
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. The desktop, the infrastructure guys are brilliant with the technologies they know, but you ask them to talk to somebody to explain what's going on, they struggle terribly, but they're very good at what they do. They're so well qualified, technically capable, but it's the communication of what's happening, and perhaps it's because they're so deep into their technologies that coming back to want to explain it to other areas. If you get somebody who's grown from the service desk environment, they're able to interpret it, explain it, put it out there. Another area that I have known people is to go into the communication side, and not just telecoms, but business communications, because they can relate from the business to the technology environment, and it's a key role, a key skill.
Absolutely, absolutely. Throughout your presentation, you covered an awful lot of subjects. Bring your own device, social media. So it seems like service desk analysts have a lot to keep up with. Do you have any recommendations on how they can keep current, how they can keep up to date with it? Because in our industry, everything's changing so quickly. Where should they go?
Well, because of the systems and the technologies that keep getting released out there, which is great and fine and super and challenging for everybody, there's a number of people I know who will pursue their own qualifications for perhaps the Apple products, become Apple certified, or the Microsoft certifications, and even the training organisations such as SDI, even Purple Griffin, and for the core skills of service delivery and service management are great. But it's so much. There are organisations out there who will actually let you manhandle, for want of a better expression, their technology. So all the latest Android products. There are opportunities with the likes of Carphone Warehouse, some of the Vodafone stores and the like, that you can actually, I know my nephew's been invited into to work with all the technologies, to have a look around and just be exposed to everything they can do, almost like on a volunteer basis. So it's good to go and get your hands on as much technology as you can.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's bits and pieces that you're probably going to be supporting in the future. I mean, are there any events or anything that you would recommend attending? I mean, I know here at the Service Desk Institute we've quite a few that focus on different aspects of the service desk industry and service management best practice. But have you come across any that you think are particularly geared towards service desk analysts?
Do you know what? No, there isn't. I mean, because as you know, Ollie, with the conferences, the exhibitions, it's predominantly software driven, which is a shame. But there is room, if there's anybody who's thinking of perhaps setting up opportunities for training on, for more training on service desk analysts, and not just the customer service courses, but more combining that with the business skills side of things, to understand how business operates. There is a little niche in the market which would be lovely to get into, but I wish there was more for service desk analysts, but I don't think there's enough out there at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I know our new events calendar has just been released for 2016, and the good news is I think quite a few of those events focus on the soft skills, customer service, and how to make the best of the service that you're delivering, how to do the very best for your customer. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'd like to see some more targeted towards service desk analysts. With that in mind, we've got another really good question here. Now, I know, Keith, with your experience, this could be quite a big answer, but it's a service desk manager asking, are there any interview tips on how to recruit the right staff for the service desk that have the right balance between technical and soft skills? So how do you, at an interview stage, identify an individual with both soft skills and technical skills?
Well, the interesting side that I always find, and I'm sure there are lots of service desk managers who put their job specs together about what they do want the individual to have, and the way I tend to operate, Ollie, is that I tend to ask a lot of questions that aren't on the job spec. So I do ask about the team, the mix, guys, girls, young, old, just to try and get an understanding of what's out there, because I think if you can get information on candidates who, even their hobbies and interests, so you can see, are they team players, are they very individual in their pastimes and the like, do they like to do the social things or do the team sports, because then you can get a feel for that person before they even walk in the door as to the kind of personality that they would show. And that's that's where I've been successful over a number of years, because if you can match the person to the environment and the team, the manager as well, because if you've got a good manager, you can sort of filter down into their team, obviously their objectives and their wants and needs. If you can get the right kind of personality, which you can read the signs on a CV, and at the interview, you should be able to pick a good person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I suppose in your experience, do you think that soft skills are harder to come by when you're looking for someone to fit a role? Do you think technical skills can be taught, but soft skills are something that's kind of just in the personality of an individual?
Absolutely. The technology is changing so rapidly, as we know. I mean, Apple changed their software so many times. Android is upgrading every 3 to 4 months. Obviously, Windows 7, 8, 8.1, 10. It's moving so rapidly that the modern day service desk analyst is adaptable to the technology. But if you find somebody who's not got those core soft skills, who can't pick up a phone and talk to somebody, or answer a phone to somebody, or work with their teammates to get a result on an issue that's come in, or share information, that's the hardest thing. The problem is, and the honest answer is, that if you hire a wrong fit for your team, it's hard to get them to move on, or to change their core skills, their core personality. That's a hard thing to train. But new technology, you throw a new bit of technology at a service desk analyst or a tech support guy, and they'll lap it up and they'll learn it in no time.
Yeah.
Core skills, you need to choose carefully, because it's got to fit your team.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that in mind, kind of as technology develops, like you identified, it's happening. All seemingly, my phone updates on a weekly basis. I've got a new thing coming down on it. So do you think we're going to see another change, another step in the evolution of the service desk analyst as technology develops even further?
Yeah, well, the ideal service desk analyst, I mean, the one I've just placed literally in the last couple of days, by the time when he went for his first interview, they were Windows 8.1. By the time he's going to join them, they'll be upgrading to Windows 10.
Wow.
So he's got no experience of Windows 10 in a commercial environment. He's used it on his home computers, but that's the kind of experience he'll take with him. But he'll also be able to support the Windows 8 people until they get converted. But he'll also have some basic experience of Windows 10. And say the modern day service desk analyst is bright, ready to go, ready to accept anything you throw at them technically. But if they can't talk to you or talk to anybody, they're the things you have to be careful about.
So it seems like from your answer there, their experience as a consumer of technology will be really important going forward, because that's kind of the level that we're going to hit. We're going to eventually, enterprise and corporate IT is going to reach the level that we experience it in our personal lives. So analysts with a breadth of experience with consumer technology can bring that into the service desk and change the way that service is delivered, because they'll be able to understand how customers want to use that technology. So that's it's quite an interesting prospect, isn't it? That eventually we're all going to be on the same level, enterprise, corporate IT, and how we deal with technology in our personal lives. This is a bit of a softer question, and it's just a curiosity one, really. So what's the most kind of out there skill or kind of experience requirement that you've been asked to find in a candidate?
The most rewarding one, I suppose, recently, when I was asked to recruit for a team which was predominantly guys, and that was just because of the way it happened over a period of time. The manager took me aside and he said, "Look," he said, "all my guys, they love football, and it's essential that alongside all the technical skills and everything else, they really need to either know a bit about or like a bit of football." And funny enough, it was a young lady that I'd identified who was almost like a semi-pro footballer. We introduced them to each other, and no word of a lie, Ollie, she settled in next to no time. She runs rings around them on the football pitch, so they tell me, and she's an absolute gem and an asset to the team. the service desk team as well as their football team.
It's an excellent story. I mean, for me, it's terrible because I don't know anything about football. I wouldn't have fit in at all, which was a little bit worrying. But
I wouldn't have been able to introduce you then, Ollie.
Yeah. So I think we've just got one final question to wrap up on. So you've got kind of a wealth of experience in the ITSM industry. You know, you mentioned that you've been an analyst before, you've worked on the service desk, you've carried that with you. If you could give one piece of advice to aspiring analysts, what would it be?
One piece of advice: you've got to want to help people, whether it be technically, personally, professionally. If you haven't got a fundamental want to help people, then no amount of technical understanding, no amount of wanting more money, the most money in the world, if you don't fundamentally want to help someone, perhaps this isn't the area to follow your career.
Yeah, and do you know, it's an interesting one, because I bumped into some old colleagues who I used to work with as an analyst, and they said, what is it that you miss the most from being an analyst, you know, moving over to what you do now? And for me, it was the fact that at the end of the day, when I was on the service desk, I knew I'd helped a certain amount of people, and you do miss that. You miss that when you've moved on. Is that something that you miss, having left?
Yes, I do, but I've sort of substituted that with the. There's nothing better when you match somebody with a really good job for their career and a company is so pleased that they've got the person that they wanted to fill that role. Again, there is that sort of satisfaction there. I have helped somebody. I mean, I've helped somebody in his career for the last 20 years. I placed him 8 times in a row. So every 2 or 3 years he comes back to me and I take him up the ladder to another career option, and he's now head of IT for a big insurance company. And it's rewarding. Yeah,
I can imagine actually hearing that would be an incredibly rewarding thing to do. It's wonderful. Well, do you know, it's I think that's all of the questions we've got time for. So thank you ever so much, Keith. Wonderful presentation, and thank you everyone who's joined us today and asked us some questions.
No problem. It's been a pleasure, Ollie.
Thanks a lot, Keith. Cheerio then.
Take care.